Your chat, welcome back. Today we're talking about the Victorian era, a time period so obsessed with looking proper and modest that it accidentally invented some of the most dangerous fashion trends in human history. These people were dying for fashion, and I mean that literally. Let's go. First up, the crinoline. Victorian women wanted that iconic bell shape, and at first they got it by wearing up to 8 layers of skirts. That's about 30 pounds of fabric just to leave the house. In 1856, someone invented a steel hoop cage to replace all those layers. Lighter, sure, but now you're walking around in a structure that's 6 feet wide, and that created 2 new problems. First, factories. These hoops would catch on unguarded machine shafts and pull women directly into the machinery. Second, fire. A crinoline basically turned you into a walking torch. In 1863, a church fire in Chile killed an estimated 2,000 to 3,000 people, largely because the exits got blocked by women's skirts that were too wide to fit through the doors. Next, Shields green. In 1775, a chemist invented this vivid green pigment, and it became incredibly popular. It was used in wallpaper, children's toys, dresses, fake flowers, everywhere. The problem? It was made with copper arsenite, which is exactly as toxic as it sounds. In damp homes, the wallpaper would release toxic gas, and textile workers handling the dye developed skin sores and were reportedly seen vomiting green. A 19-year-old artificial flower maker named Matilda Schurer died from arsenic exposure in 1861, and her death is one of the most documented cases of this color literally killing people. Then we have the collar. Men's fashion required these incredibly stiff, heavily starched high collars as a sign of status and cleanliness. The problem? These collars could press directly on the carotid arteries that supply blood to your brain. There are documented cases of men, especially after drinking too much or experiencing any kind of throat swelling, literally being strangled to death by their own collar while passed out. The press at the time actually nicknamed this the father killer collar. Now, mercury in hat making, the phrase "mad as a hatter," comes directly from this. Hat makers used mercury nitrate to treat animal fur for felt, and prolonged exposure to mercury vapor caused tremors, hallucinations, depression, and personality changes. By 1934, an estimated 80% of hatters were showing these neurological symptoms. An entire profession was slowly being poisoned, and everyone just called it part of the job. Finally, beauty treatments. Victorian women used belladonna eye drops, made from a genuinely poisonous plant, to dilate their pupils for that wide-eyed, dreamy look. The side effects: blurred vision, hallucinations, and with long-term use, potential blindness. And some accounts even describe women having eyelashes sewn directly into their eyelids with a needle for length, a procedure with obvious infection risk and zero modern medical oversight. So why did all of this stop? Technology helped, but mostly it was safety regulations, growing medical knowledge, and frankly, people dying publicly enough that society couldn't ignore it anymore. The Victorians were so focused on looking proper that proper became the thing that was quietly killing them. If you enjoyed this hit, like and subscribe. Drop in the comments which trend shocked you the most. Mine is the collar. Dying from your own shirt is a uniquely Victorian way to go. See you next time.